Okay, I give a little short introduction again. So, hello everyone, and thank you for coming. This is a lecture 39 conducted by Boris Petrovic. Today we will continue our yesterday's lecture with a topic GDV Tesla Digital Bioelectrography. So this was my short introduction, and now let's get started.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. I see a new face today. Hello, Malcolm. Again, greetings from Brazil. My name is Boris Petrovic, and I am the founder and the president of the Nikola Tesla Institute. That has been working for 4 years now in Brazil. Just to repeat this short opening that we had yesterday, I am now here in the south of Brazil, in the city of Florianópolis, setting up a clinic. This is the location that we will be using with the first prototype of the GDV Tesla Digital Bioelectrography system. And also this is the location where we're setting up a Tesla energy company that will be a vehicle for commercialization of many prototypes of technologies that we have been developing in the past 2 years. The Nikola Tesla Institute has a laboratory, a research and development laboratory in São Paulo. So next Friday and Saturday, we have 2 more workshops, and I think it will be also interesting for all of you to participate. And these 2 will be all about Nikola Tesla and free energy, and also about the Noosphere paradigm and some scientific views of cosmic Russian cosmism, and some developments that we're working on as research, and also some of our vision. I repeat, next week I'm going to talk from São Paulo. This is another location, and yesterday we talked about consciousness technologies. We did a little overview on the physics and science also about the ideas of the technologies that we're developing in terms of the objectives of the Nikola Tesla Institute, which I will repeat, are research and development of new energy technologies, wireless energy transmission, and human energy. Obviously, today at the Human Light System course, we will focus on human energy and some of the innovations that I am introducing in the world of digital bioelectrography. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to present with this wonderful group, and our ideas since past year were on collaboration, on research and commercialization of these innovations. So today I will talk a little bit more about the system. Again, I'm sorry, some of the slides are in Portuguese because they are part of my lectures, and I will speak in English, so there are no problems in understanding. How does it here? Share screen. So I'm not aware if everybody really has a deeper knowledge of the history of bioelectrography. So always I give a little bit of an opening because here in Brazil, um, the whole idea about digital bioelectrography is still not well known. However, the idea of Kirlian photography was very well known, and there were devices in terms of Kirlian imaging developed and sold and used in the past 20 to 25 years by a very renowned researcher, Professor Newton Milhomens, here in Brazil. So, in terms of the classic Kirlian photography technique, an object, a biological object, or it is having its reasonable electrical conductivity, is located on top of a film that touches the surface of a metal plate. So this metal plate is connected to a high voltage alternating generator, and this is basically a high frequency generator. Yesterday we talked a little bit about our knowledge of Nikola Tesla, his inheritance in terms of the inventions and ideas of new physics and science. And we talked that most of our devices are based on high frequency generators. The equipment that we are developing to transmit energy wirelessly uses high frequency transformers. So even our GDV Tesla device uses a type of frequency controlled Tesla coil. So in the old devices, a film was used that needed to be developed chemically. This provided a whole lot of scientific issues that did not really and could not really introduce the idea of Kirlianography into the mainstream science. So even here in Brazil, the devices that Professor Newton Milhomens here in the photo developed and commercialized were thought of something that is really part of a new age thinking, spirituality, spiritism, and in some way this development had very good results. Professor Newton Milhomens had hundreds of studies of all of mediums and spiritual groups around Brazil, and in terms of history, this is very relevant because he was one of the first researchers to determine that there are repeating patterns on Kirlian photos, and he devised his own method of analyzing Kirlian images. So these here Kirlian images are some of the let's say image database of Professor Newton Milhomens. It shows subjects that were here, for example, with intoxication, with pain, with cancer, with intestinal cancer, extra physical interferences, paranormality, then again paranormality in disequilibrium, some sexual tendencies, syndromes of panic, excessive yin energy, and anger. So obviously, using the film that can be developed chemically, these devices have provided colored images, and Professor Newton Milhomes published quite a few books that talk about Killian photography here in Brazil that can still be found in sales online. They are in Brazilian Portuguese, but the two most interesting that I have had hold in my hands talk about here Killian photos and how to interpret. This is being shared also. Everybody can see this well.
Yes, it's good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and the other book that really speaks about the scientific thought of Newton Milhomes is the energetic model of man, the Killian effect, where he explains through the history of his research the existence of energetic modalities and how Killian devices function, a little bit on emotional states and psychological problems detected through Killian photography. He talks also about the Killian process and telepathy. Yesterday we had an extensive explanation on the underlying research and science of telepathy and transmission of information via communication. It was very important. Then he also talked about magic and some Brazilian practices that are close to voodoo, and how this affects the human biofield. And also his research about the what he calls aura and what we prefer to call the human biofield, and some research in trance states, and these are two very valuable books in terms of showing concrete examples of changes in the human bioplasma. However, let us return here. Newton Milhomes used different pattern recognition method, not so much from what we are now accepting as a statistically relevant, which is the method of Dr. Korotkov. Newton Milhomes only used two fingers in the indicators to establish a classification of energy meridians and a connection of glow around fingers stimulated by high frequency discharges, and he did not really have a digitalization process. So here is a device of Professor Newton Milhomes that is oddly enough still on sales in Brazil, and there are quite a few people that really still buy it, and even some universities that use this still in research. They have some problems in finding shops where they can make the films. So this is the current state of what we're dealing here in Brazil. We talked extensively yesterday of the importance of this country and its spiritual culture in terms of understanding the energy processes, healing practices, and even energetic medicine. So the proximity of, let's say, city centers to the indigenous culture has a kind of a, let's say, a collective consciousness exchange where there is more opening in experiencing and trying to explain whatever is not physical, and there is an opening through the spiritist movement, which is a state wide legally accepted religion to all this knowledge. We have also talked that there are hundreds of spiritual hospitals where there are many volunteers that really deal with healing practices that need to be understood, that they function, and the effects we will try to measure in various laboratories here in Brazil. We talked a little bit about what are our basic objectives in terms of providing spaces for integrated analysis of the human biofield using obviously digital bioelectrography, but also some other types of sensors. We are thinking of integrating digital bioelectrography with bioresonance, with thermography. Obviously, biophotonic cameras are very expensive to be used, and they're still not available here in Brazil. But our idea is to have in at least 5 to 6 capitals of the state in Brazil laboratories that could be legalized as imaging centers. And so we're involved here in Florianopolis with the university that published many publications, really with a scientific statistical methodology. They have a methodology course, and this will be very instrumental in terms of making these types of technologies accepted by the academia and also the public health system, so that it can be used as medical devices. So we talk about hardware being developed. Also, we will talk about software. At the end of the PowerPoint presentation, I will turn on a little bit of the apparatus working, and we will show now how this through time evolved. So this is one of the GDV Tesla prototypes that is based in São Paulo now. It shows that it is a large device, but our basic focus was to introduce into one device, let's say 3 or 4 devices that were available as professional GDV cameras from Dr. Korotko, for example. So you can see that there is a large electrode here on top of the device, and you can see a high frequency resonance transformer in the bottom of the device, and this resonant transformer has two potentiometers that can adjust the frequency of the discharge at the electrode, and a power potentiometer here that regulates really the power of the discharge on the electrode. So this is a photo of our laboratory where the first development of the devices started, and you can see that it has some stages in the case. So with the device, we can capture glow discharge, and we can visualize gas discharges around 1 finger or 5 fingers with the same device. So here is Nikola Tesla with his glowing biofield that was I think cut from an article that somebody wrote about experiences in his laboratory with the electrotherapy. So yesterday we talked extensively about the science of the human bioplasma, and next week we will talk more about planetary bioplasma and how the processes of energy fluxes in the human body can be connected to whatever also goes on electromagnetically with the planet. Nikola Tesla's ideas in terms of resonance and resonant frequencies we talked about yesterday are very important for our understanding of our immersion in the energetic environment. So the consciousness of our permanent energetic connection with our environment, and the biocommunication with the environment and other living beings is very important, not only to understand but also to visualize and measure. So again, sorry for my Portuguese, but I will translate here. We have 3 applications, basic applications of the GDV Tesla device. First is obviously with medicine. As I said, in our experience with digital bioelectrography, with thousands of photos that have been captured, we have understood that the technique is very good for accompanying chronic processes in the human body. Obviously, Dr. Korotkov has published tens of articles relating to statistical comprovation of the method of diagnosis involving projecting sectors from glowing discharges from fingers to the whole human body. This was somewhat collaborated also in our work, and the first focus in commercialization of the technology will be using at health clinics. So here we are in an alternative health clinic. It has its medical doctors that really want to use the device in terms of analyzing various types of remedies and practices using on ill people. So our first focus is clinics, and because of the size of the device and the amount of people that can go through the imaging process and the velocity through which this can be done, we can capture images from hundreds, if not of thousands of people in a short um, span of time. So our focus really was to providing like a huge vehicle where we can have a lot of people going through the analysis process, and that we really deal with big data in terms of dealing with the health practice. These statistical information are very important, and this in later I will explain. And second focus that we have is working with wellness centers that don't necessarily involve ill people, but in terms of pre-diagnosis of some conditions of the human biofield that are some deficiencies that can be turned into illnesses, and working with nutritionists, working with holistic practitioners, with the idea that we explained yesterday of providing certificates of the effects of some therapies. So we mentioned yesterday that in Brazil, some of these holistic practices in the past month had been introduced by the Minister of Health in the national public health system. Together, they signed a document with the, I think, Minister of Health of India, so that Ayurvedic practices are legal, and they have their own legal medical code, and that you can, from the public health system, have funds refunded when doing these practices. There exists a kind of lobbying body that is made of some politicians, senators, famous medics that are working on expansion of consciousness in terms of finding equilibrium in allopathic and holistic and integrative medical practices. And this, let's say, influential body is very important for us to introduce some of these technologies to be sold as legal medical devices here in Brazil. We still have at least 2 years of research that can be done in 3 or 4 cities here in Brazil until we get really the legal documents that we can sell these types of devices or other because of the legislation as medical devices. Until then, we can sell this as therapeutic devices. So Brazil has some very good sides and has some inhibitions. And the third, and for me, most important area of use of the GDV Tesla device is focused on research of parapsychism and parapsychology, and all the practices of healing groups here in Brazil. We talked yesterday that I have spent some days last weekend also in the south of Brazil at the Institute of Consciousness and Projectiology. They have since 20 years ago created a city with mediums, and they really have practices with hundreds of sensitive people in terms of distance healing, astral projection, and they have a laboratory. It's called Ectolab for the research of ectoplasm, and sometime in the future we will be starting studies with GDV Tesla at this laboratory of ectoplasm in the city of Foz do Iguaçu in Brazil. So these are the three areas that we are focusing in terms of commercializing of the device, and also in terms of the studies that we will be doing. So this is also a photo of one of the old prototypes of the device, also showing the transparent electrode that we are using for the glow discharge imaging, and it also shows the high definition camera. We are using an 18 megapixel camera that is controlled via wirelessly via a controller, and also this controller controls the high frequency generator, and we have developed software for the analysis of the images that I will show later. So the dimensions of the electrode are 200 millimeters and 150 millimeters of height. So I don't know about your experiences. I think it's the largest glow discharge electrode available. So these are some of the biophotonic images going out from the device. I repeat that we have various frequencies that we can introduce in the glow discharge electrode, so that we have, when we have one method of analysis that is very similar to GDV Pro and even BioVel software, but we are also working on an imaging analysis method that deals specifically with psi phenomena that can be used in research of parapsychology, and with the hypersensitive subjects. So you can see that the image talks 1,000 words. So our focus was really providing a platform for research, and for larger institutions where many people go through some type of practice, and also for imaging health imaging centers. Our idea was providing high definition photos that are colored. Here, for instance, in Brazil, the overall idea of digital bioelectrography was a little bit rejected because of the work that Professor Newton Milhomens has done with the Kirlian cameras. They were all colored images, and he published very many findings in his interpretation that deals really with the type of gradient of colors, and how this through his statistics of practices connects to various types of disequilibriums of the human bioplasma. So the photos of digital bioelectrography provided on the market were all black and white, and the experienced users of Kirlian devices did really not wanted to use them, and they were very happy to see the quality of the images provided. They did not really rely on any type of software, for the interpretation of the images, but they really observed with their own experience of thousands of bioelectrography photos, their own interpretation. So this is the market that we're dealing here in Brazil, that are experienced users that have already used some type of this technology, and on the other side, people who really don't understand and don't know how this works, that are, let's say, therapists, and we really want to focus with the device with the experienced users around Brazil and larger clinics. This was our initial idea. So because of the size of the electrode, there are 4 or 5 modes of really using the device. The first is focusing on glow discharger on one finger, and then we take bioelectrography photos of all 10 fingers with the highest resolution. We get results of, for instance, for these images in the database, 2000 by 2000 pixels. That is a lot of data to be processed also. And we can record with a larger velocity discharges of all 5 fingers. Also, in the software, we have levels of automatic processing, filtering of the images, and when we capture in the database the images from a 5-finger mode, we get around 800 per 800 pixels of resolution, which also can be used with the same algorithm to show results statistics with the analysis according to the sector calculation method. And so this is one of the photos with ambiental light, and this is one of the processed photos that was done with the cover of the device. Today I will not use the cover. I have taken it out so that we can film whatever goes on the electrode. So then, when the whole capturing has been finished, this is really what gets recorded in the database, all 10 fingers from 2 hands. So in the Tesla biosystem, we have different levels of interaction with the user and also with the equipment. And we have the capturing system, and we have the filtering part, then recording into database for analyzing images, and also providing reports. And the software is still in development. The software never stops being developed with all of the new experiences that we have with the prototypes used. So I'm working also on providing statistical information that can, through a timeline, accompany persons and also illnesses that can be used as a kind of let's say tool for providing in the future recommendation about therapy. So here you can see a photo of the glow discharge on the finger on the electrode. This is some type of processing and filtering that is implemented in the software. This is a contour recognition algorithm that is really a basis of calculations that we used. Since I have developed whole of the software, I can talk a little bit about this, but some of its parts I really used from some robotic devices that I've developed. So the image recognition and algorithms of calculations for analysis are parts of experiences with my experiences with robotics. So this is one stage of processing of the original image. You can see that at different frequencies we have different types of glow discharges. So we will be using different types of algorithms to show statistics of whatever goes on in the overall human biofield, but also on the meridians. So this is a pseudo coloring filter that we use to show really the density of the glow. This has its own importance in the analysis, and I must really say we used the Dr. Korotkov method of sectors. I believe that statistically this is a most relevant and applicative method. I understand that Dr. Newton Milhomens had some differences in terms of observing the sectors in his own pattern recognition, but from my own experience, the method really worked on hundreds of subjects. Statistically, we want to prove this on thousands of subjects, and I will talk a little bit more later about the research that we want to do, but we want, for instance, to do work with the same sector method with our hardware on specific cancer patients that these cancers are really related to one specific organ, so that we have some solid statistical proof of the method. I know that this has been already done in Russia, and some part of this also in the European Union, but we need to do this again in Brazil because of the legislation. So this is one of the images that goes into the report. It really shows the processed 10 finger bioelectrograph images with their named sectors, and this is one of the windows of the software. It is currently in Portuguese. That really shows the sector division and the type of image processing that we use to show the density of the glow around the finger, and also the quality of the high definition image is very important in our experience to show all the artifacts that are disbalances. Like this, for instance, is the third sector. This is a bioelectrograph image of my of my finger. I really talk too much. I give lectures everywhere and courses, so I have a chronic throat problem here as inflammation, for instance. So in the same way, we use the high definition discharge images to project on a circular projection around a human body to be able to visualize all the hyperfunctions or hypofunctions in the human biofield via the 52 parameters that can be recorded with a sector division method, pattern, and method. So this is also one of the reports from one of the studies that we did on a female subject. And because this is PowerPoint, later I will show the report in high definition. We have really good quality of the visualization of the human biofield based on the quality of the images, so we can observe all the energy density in specific sectors. And I find this a very valuable innovation and evolution of the digital bioelectrography technique. However, it uses the already established methods of analysis. Again, this is in Portuguese, but you can see a little bit on the quality of the imaging process and the visualization of the human biofield. Here are some bioelectrograph images from the studies that we have done. So on top here, you can see here on the left is before a type of a healing practice that shows here in the sector of throat inflammation, and then later the effects of the practice. The chronic, let's say, influence has been reduced. However, it stays. So I repeat again, we have a very good tool in terms of visualizing energy density in a specific sector to accompany chronic problems throughout time. So we also provide a type of tools for comparison of the human biofield throughout time and on a timeline. This is another bioelectrograph image that we've been doing. The statistical certainty that the high definition bioelectrography image shows. And also, I think with the other bioelectrography devices, I think this is open also for discussion. We all have had this experience with a female nail. So we can really calculate very many things from the glow discharge. But then again, if we really provide a high definition image of what is going around the finger, I think that the therapist really needs to be involved in a learning process to not only base his results on the calculations, but also on the observations of what happens in the finger. Some artifacts obviously are results of in this case female nails being on the electrode, and we need to take this into the statistical process to corroborate the basic finding that the patterns really repeat through time. I always say in my lectures, but these are types of glow discharges. They keep on dancing. Researchers ask if statistically we can do this every 5 minutes on a person, and I say I do this now, I do this in a month, 2 or 3 months, but whatever chronic problem that you have in your body really corresponds to, for instance, inflammation corresponds to a glow discharge artifacts that appear and reappear in the same sectors that are based for the analysis. I have really done some extensive research on my throat chakra here, and because it is a photography a technique, and we are using a publicly available a camera, we provide a process now that we're entering the stage of commercializing of the equipment to users be able to understand all of the parameters of the use of the device. It has very many details and very many opportunities for an experienced researcher to deal with in terms of the frequency used and the quality of the image. Here you can see another type of frequency in the used in the device in the practice that we did with healing, and it shows that the type of the discharge is different. We want to use this to really show the connections of the human biofield to the environment and other humans that are involved in healing practices. For instance, here on the left is a non-focused a photo from Tesla Bio, but it really still can be used to show the analysis. So the science of the human biofield is really evolving extensively from what it was 15 years ago as a type of a mystical property. Today, we really understand that it is a multi-layered phenomenon. It is not only electromagnetic in its essence. It is not only a human light that can be observable. Yesterday, we talked a lot about the science of the of biophotonics and ultraviolet properties of biocommunication and bioinformation transmission. So here we can see some negative influences in the human biofield. We talked a lot about our Tesla medicine method that involves a type of physiotherapy and post-electromagnetic field therapy. We are focusing now on trying to develop new technology that can be used to visualize in real time the human biofield. Our practices, and I think practices of most of the users of digital bioelectrography, we're focused on static images before, during, or after some type of healing practice. And this is not really a real-time demonstration of the human biofield, nor it's really the exact image of what happens with bioplasma. It is a mathematical approximation using the information from the fingers. So our future ideas deal with providing new type of technology that can visualize in 3 dimensions the exact state of the human biofield, and we are planning hardware and software that can deal this in real time, so that we can accompany some processes and practices on the subject through a time, for instance, of 3-4 hours, and where we can statistically record subtle changes in the electrostatics with sensors of the human biofield, and also with ultraviolet sensors. So the idea in the software, I will say this now with the closed group, is really providing a timeline of the biofield using digital bioelectrography and other types of sensors that can visualize in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions the human bioplasma, and also be able to compare through time whatever has been done with some types of healing practices or any type of involvement of medication also. So this is a part of the report of GDV Tesla that really shows the mathematics. So we also calculate the properties of the glow around the finger. We use an image recognition algorithm of the contour recognition around the finger, and this we turn into numbers showing disequilibrium in the energy body in the specific meridian according to the 52 parameters. This is one of the practices that we have done with some type of remedies, frequency remedies as a research with one of the prototypes, so you can see the basic setup of the device used in this sense. This is part of the software, and these are the results of one of the studies. And this one has been done, so you can show here in the interiors before and after the use of a frequency liquid, also together with gold in nanoparticles that was provided by one of our partners, Quantum Bio. There is a biofield image of a subject that entered here. You can see the meridian. This is kidney, and this is pancreas. This here is throat. So the subject has taken gold in nanoparticles, and we have then an hour later recorded the biofield of the subject, and we show here really the amazing effects of the use of monoatomic gold in the human organism. Our partner uses nanoparticles, gold in nanoparticles, as a base for introducing various types of frequency liquids that are developed through a process of imprinting bioinformation in liquids. This is one of the healing practices that also we studied. This is a sound healing with crystal bowls, and this was a setup done in the Vector Equilibrium Institute in São Paulo with the Som de Cristal group. So a group of sound healers, 2 sound healers worked all day on subjects, and the most interesting result that we had was really on the female healer. She entered in the morning around 8, and she stopped working around 8 in the night. So I think 8 or 9 subjects went through the process, and we thought that she would be tired, but it really showed that the whole sound and resonance aspect in an enclosed ambient throughout the whole day, it really improved her biofield significantly after the exhaustive practice. So this was inside was in the morning, and this outside was in the night. So in my experience, it is very important to really be aware of the protocol of the study using bioelectrography images. It is important to record the human biofield state before, during, and after the practice, or even later in the practice, because during the practice and shortly after the practice, bioelectrography shows improvements in the biofield, but whatever is a repeated pattern, and then later throughout time goes back into its own energy state. So it is very important not to have misleading results, to provide a very good research protocol. This is one important slide of a research using the Killian device at the Unisul University. This is the one that I showed really on the paper here on the camera. This has been done some years ago with the Newton Milholland's Killian camera, and this university is really across the street from our clinic here. This is one test group and control group result. In chromotherapy, they have also worked with killianography with cardiac cardiac problems. So this is the faculty that we are involving in our research study in partnership here at the clinic here in the south of Brazil. Because of the size of the electrode, our device can be used very well for the study of vital energy properties in plants and foods, and it is the same method used in observing the glow around fingers. Here you can see the basic setup for the registration of the glow. We used as a sample, as an example, a tomato, and here we did not really use the cover or any type of involvement of mathematics. Just we are showing here the type of glow that can be registered. So obviously I show here an extensive research being done in Slovenia. This is one of the countries from ex-Yugoslavia that I'm from. They have used the old Pro, GDV Pro camera on dimension equal samples of apples, with various species of apples, and they use their own software to record and calculate the coronas around what they call fruitlets. So this is the same principle that we want to apply in the research of nutrition here in Brazil. Another university has also used ionosphere. So again, some years ago, but not many years ago, in research of cultivation with biodynamic systems of organic or non-organic foods. So there is a lot of interest in this area. Brazil is very known from food exports, and the method of the analysis of liquids can also be done on the device. We still did not venture into research of the analysis of liquids. I here only show one of the photos that has been done with a prototype edition. I liked these from Dr. Ignatov from Bulgaria. I understand he also is part of the group, and this is very interesting for us here to explore in the future because of the quality of the sources of water here in Brazil. I talked a little bit about future developments, and here I show one development that I'm working on is a real-time analysis system of the human biofield using electrostatic sensors and ultraviolet sensors. This will need some time to find fruit, but the sensors I have already developed and part of the capturing software. So this is really the future of the analysis of the human bioplasma, and this is not as expensive as biophotonic cameras, and does not really need any kind of dark rooms or air conditioning refrigeration systems for the cameras. These are simple and cheap sensors that I had developed, and I'm still working on the software for this biofield visualization system. So I think that here the part of the lecture at least is over, and let me see how I can proceed here with showing the device. Can you still hear me? Yes? You can still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you can still hear me. Maybe we can show now my camera and not the slide.
Yes, can you stop the share screen, please? So we, oh yeah, you can see.
Larger. It goes larger. Let me just see here. Okay. So, is this working?
Yes.
Okay. So we have to do it like this. We have to do it like this. Okay. Yes, it seems to be working. Now, let me see if I can show the software. The software is here. So, screen share. Can you see the screen share? And also my camera?
Yes, we can see both.
Yep.
You can see both?
Yes.
Let's try to do this. I will control the device from my cell phone. This is an interesting property that I love to use. The result was shown.
Yes, wow, yeah.
Liked. Here. I think that it has some lag in the camera. Okay. Let's try once more. It showed. Discharge. Let's see if we can turn on the light. Did it show? Yes?
Yes, we saw that. Wow, amazing.
Let's try with 5 fingers. I don't know. Is it showing? try like this. Okay. So this was the part when we show the device. How are we with time? How much time have we left?
It's up to you, Boris. Up to you.
Okay. Ooh. Sorry. Okay. So now I will clear here. Let's see. So I can show a little bit of the software before we go on to questions, okay? I have these two screens. So this is what is captured in the database. These are the 10-finger images, original images. And then we have the finger analysis, part of the software. Contour calculation, sector calculation, and display. And this is our quantification graphic that really deals with the numbers, and that shows here disequilibrium in the throat. Gargant is throat in Portuguese, and this is one part of the system. I can also open up the other image of the finger so that the quality of the image here can be shown. And so then here we have the visualization of the biofield. Here are parts of the reports, the integral report that has for now 6 pages. Maybe later I can show this as well. And also the process of comparison in time of before and after. The calculation of the biofield is being done. Let me see here. So it appears like this. We have the opportunity to really delve in visually into what happens with a specific object or detail through here in the biofield visualization. Because of the high definition quality of the image, we can really understand the energy density around these subjects. And then if we show, for instance, comparison of two energy states. Let me see here. This one, and then later in time to show my throat problem, for instance. Let's do like this, and then we go on to compare. Just a second. Let me see, because I have these two screens. Ah, I found it. It's on this screen. Okay. So this is part of the comparing of the biofields. In the same manner, we can explore really the difference in different timelines. So before is here behind, and after is here in front, and we here can clearly see a chronic problem, for instance, in this area happening with a specific meridian. So I think it's now, we have some more minutes for questions, and maybe we can open. I don't have a mouse here. We can open some time for questions. Okay.
What is the difference between this one, your prototype, or well, not your prototype, but your machine, and Kharkov's BioWell? Aside from being able to put, I'm thinking, the 5 fingers at once, you can do.
Okay, so the overall difference is its size, and the really let's say focus group. We want to provide a platform for many types of practices that can be done on the electrode for many users in a clinic, in terms of many therapists using the same device. And because of the different modes of use, such as with 5 fingers or 1 finger, we can deal with more subjects during a shorter time span, and also the type of control of the device that we have does not necessarily need to be using the software on the computer. So we can have a really high frequency of capturing the images and storing in the camera, and then later we can analyze this. The similarity is obviously the use of the same GDV method of sector divisions. Because of the difference in the resolution and the quality of the image, we have here an algorithm that I developed that is somewhat different in quantitizing the amount of glow around the finger, which is a type of innovation. Just to say, I think in terms of comparing, we have the resolution of the image, which is 10 times larger than what is recorded with the BioVel, and so it has more information to be stored in the database and analyzed. So we are not really focusing on commercializing this device to therapists, but to institutions that have many therapists in their working practice, and also that they have a large volume of people that are subjects. Brazil is a huge country. There's 300 million people. So we are looking on the specifics of the market here in Brazil. Since last year, we have started negotiating with Dr. Korotkov company about the idea of selling what used to call Tesla bio devices abroad. And we had a common understanding that we can also maybe market this together because of the same method involved. So we are now calling this the GDV Tesla device. So when we have at least 10 to 20 devices working here in Brazil, in places, we're thinking of going out on the global market with this device.
You mentioned also that the scans you did before and after the healing practices included sound healing. Anything else that you're using on a participant or on a patient, if I can say, before and after the scans?
So we worked on liquids that were prepared through bioresonance methods that were imprinted with information. We are opening now here in the clinic together with the university that has the Cathedra de Naturology for research in florals, homeopathics. We will work with depression, and we will work with Reiki and meditation practices. So because of the proximity of the university, we can have, and also in the practice of the clinic, a larger volume of subjects with clear defined problems. So we have two focuses in terms of building the databases. One is a focus on the illness to mathematically and statistically prove in front of the Brazilian legislation the method of calculation. And the second is focusing on therapy that we can in the future in terms of a kind of artificial intelligence provide already with the database that we're building responses to any type of problem in the biofield.
Any more questions, Susanna?
Yeah, I think that covers it for today. Maybe I'll have some more this coming week. I'll think about everything. That's very, very interesting.
Okay, so next weekend we will be talking about Nikola Tesla and free energy. This is a very important subject in terms of revealing the truths of what Nikola Tesla wanted to do. Why does this not still happen? And we will be in another environment in the laboratory of the Tesla Institute in São Paulo. And there, I think, it's on Friday. It's on Friday. And on Saturday, I will be talking about collective consciousness and some of my theories on the planetary biofield and planetary bioplasma and the same processes that go on energetically in the human body are observed also in the Earth's bodies, and this is a very important part of my research. Thank you for providing this space for presentations, and see you next week.
See you next Friday and have a nice weekend. Bye. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Ciao.
Bye.